Have you ever seen one of those interviews on TV where a mother gets up there, she's crying, she says her child's been abducted, and she's pleading for sympathy and for someone to bring them home? Have you ever seen that and thought, I wonder if she did it. I wonder if the boyfriend or the husband did it. I wonder if the child's really missing. I wonder if I should get emotionally invested into this right now. I don't want to get duped by some murder on TV. Have you ever thought, I wonder how long it takes a deception detection expert to figure out whether one of these people is making the story up? Well, I can tell you sometimes I can figure it out in 4 or 5 seconds. We're going to look at the Madeline Soto case. Specifically, we're going to look at her mother, Jennifer Soto, and some of the statements that she's made. Before we look at the video, let's play a little game. It's called Embodied Simulation. Embodied Simulation has a couple rules. Rule number one is called cognitive empathy. We have to employ cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy sounds like empathy, but they're not the same thing. Cognitive empathy is when you mentally put yourself into someone else's shoes. You're going to imagine their thoughts, feelings, and experiences as if you were them. This allows you to understand the perspective of that person without feeling their emotions. If you're thinking, this is a form of empathy, why aren't we trying to feel their emotions? I'll get to that in a second. Rule number two, we're going to activate our mirror neurons. Mirror neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you see somebody else performing that same action. This creates a sense of a shared experience in your mind. Essentially, your brain simulates the experiences in another person as if you were experiencing it yourself. Now buckle up, because you're about to share another human being's thoughts, feelings, and experiences by firing those mirror neurons. But you don't want to share the emotions. Why? Because emotions will override the logic part of our brain. By putting ourselves into that other person, we're going to figure out what emotion they're supposed to be feeling. Then we're going to analyze using micro expressions, verbiage analysis, and body language what emotion they're actually feeling. Then we're going to compare them. And if the emotion that they're actually feeling is different than the emotion that they should be feeling, that's deception. That's enough talking. Let me show you this video.
By any chance, does she have a phone number or phone?
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay, she's direct, she's engaged, she's leaning in. That doesn't really tell us anything. We are experiencing her experiences. We're living in her shoes, and we don't see anything yet up to this point, so let's continue here.
Okay, how about, does she have like Apple Watch?
Yeah, she's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
A school laptop? Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
So that police officer asks, she's got that laptop, is that trackable? And she says, no, I don't think so. Still that same sort of directness. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah, it should be. If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to any Wi-Fi.
So if I like circle here.
All right, what did we see there? As she says she doesn't think so, some of the administrative staff say, no, our computers, if there's Wi-Fi, if that's turned on, that will try to connect. Okay, that's information that we need to put back into that situation of us putting ourselves in her shoes as an innocent person. Okay, so I didn't think that those computers were trackable, but I find out now they are. My daughter's missing. I'm going to be excited. Okay, good. I didn't know that. She does have that laptop. If that's trackable, that's something we want to look into right away. Now, let's change that script here. If I was involved in my child going missing, and I just found out that a laptop that I thought was not trackable is trackable, everywhere that laptop went, it was pinging a tower, a Wi-Fi signal. I'm going to panic. So the emotion that would go with that would be fear. Now we have a situation where an innocent person is going to be happy that that's trackable, and they're going to want that to be followed up on immediately, whereas a guilty person is going to feel fear and stress. So what we see here is she does that glance. She looks at that police officer and she has that fear, that panic in her eyes. And then she immediately starts to sway. You can feel, you know what she's thinking. Is he going to follow up on this? As she stepped back, she starts to sway. She gets that nervous energy. That is not something that you would see in an innocent person. An innocent person would start to move forward, would get more direct and aggressive. We want to follow this. That laptop, she had that laptop this morning. Let's follow up on that. So what do we learn here today? By utilizing an embodied simulation, we're going to utilize one of our tools, which is cognitive empathy, to project ourselves into that person that we're watching. In this case, it's Jennifer Soto. And we're going to make two constructs. One is a deceptive Jennifer Soto and one is a truthful Jennifer Soto. Then we're going to wait for that question, that situation where the emotion is going to be different between the truthful and the deceptive versions of ourselves. Using those mirror neurons, we feel her stress there. We feel that fear, and we know that that fear and that stress, that only fits with the deceptive version of her. We've seen deception here. Now, does that mean that Jennifer Soto Madeline Soto? Not necessarily, because there could be something on that laptop that she doesn't want found. It could be sexual abuse. It could be something that doesn't have to do necessarily with Madeline's disappearance. In the first 5 seconds of this interview, we didn't learn whether or not she committed a murder here, but we did learn a very important piece of information that we can file away. As we look at the rest of this case, this is going to become very important. Now, if you want to see the rest of my analysis on Jennifer Soto, jump over to YouTube where I do my long form videos and check out Truth Revealed over there. See you next time.